watching Prime Morning. This is a news flash, and the segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phone papa pair fear. Over 6,000 eligible voters are expected to cast their vote this morning at Ablekuma North for a rerun for them to elect their member of parliament. Now, as it stands now, it's a keenly contested race. It takes a lot for them to decide. I say this because as of 2 days ago, the NPP had come out to say that they were not going to run for this seat. However, the NDC was campaigning. Now, after the NPP said this, they had their case in court trying to put an injunction on the election, but it was thrown out of court. So yesterday, the person who wants to represent the people of Ablekuma North, that's in the person of Nanekua Usue-Friye, came out to say that she was contesting to represent her people because she is the chosen one. Well, will Nanekua become the chosen one, or it will go for Irabana Orbin, who is representing the NDC? The vote is your power. You go out there and you vote if you belong to the people of Ablekuma North. Now, not just that, we have 19 polling stations that are going to cast their vote. So if you belong there, just make sure that you go out there and you vote. And today we'll be in and out of Ablekuma North to be giving you reports of what's happening. And of course, trust us to bring you how the voting process is also ongoing. I'm here with Osei Kwame Griffith, who is representing the NDC. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Great. And you at home can also join us via Zoom. Once the link is put on the screen, is activated, you join us and we have a wholesome conversation. We have newspapers as well, which are reporting a lot. And so let me quickly do what the newspapers have for us. And then we delve into our main conversation for this morning. I'll start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. The Daily Graphic: dispute over chieftaincy stew ties security in Kwewu. Ooh, wow. Stage set for Ablekuma North polling stations a rerun, and this is our main conversation for this morning. Sterile men should avoid hot water bath. Expert says so. Hey, please, men, don't bath hot water again. No. I didn't say this. The Daily Gist, the newspaper, says NPP fight NDC for Ablekuma North rerun election with 700,000 Ghana cedis. Mahama missing at Trump's West African president's meeting. Minority takes on government over UN gay vote. Murdered immigration officer body burned, suspects arrested. This story has been trending. I don't know, whenever I chance on it, I get so sad. Griffith, have you heard about it? There's a young man who apparently has a friend. I don't even know if I should call the person a friend or an enemy. We have to be very careful. The people that smile with us,
yes,
most of them are enemies. You know, sometimes you pray and God will reveal to you who your enemy is. And so you are very, very lucky when God does it for you.
Exactly.
But when you don't know about it, it becomes very deadly. So this friend owes him 200,000 Ghana cedis. He's been asking for the money. Friend says, come for the money. He goes. It's alleged that the friend killed him and burnt his body. It's alleged. The friend has been arrested by the police. Now, as it stands now, he wasn't arrested because of the murder. He was arrested because they couldn't find him. And so his family members went to report. And the last place that he actually told his family members that he was going was the friend's house. When he got there, he sent a message to his family that, I'm here. He sent a message that he says he's going to give me the money. Later, they tried calling him, no response. Then a message came in to the family members that, oh, he's giving me the money. But instead of giving me 200, he has given me 500,000, that I should keep the 300 and use the 200.
Wow. Wow, I think this is in relation to somebody who was a security.
Immigration.
Wow. That's an interesting case. So then, why would such a person give 500,000 instead of?
So that's a question the police is asking, and apparently he's been giving conflicting reports as of now.
So perhaps, you know, there's the thinking that something might have happened because he was trying to, you know, put himself in a position where he doesn't have to pay anybody, you know, that kind of money. But
the question is, who sent that message, that last message? Because before the message was sent, they couldn't find him.
Okay, so that's also a possibility that message was not even sent by. So to create perhaps the that impression that he had a lot of money and therefore probably was attacked somewhere. So I think that the security forces, I hope, I'm sure would do,
would do the needful, right?
Needful.
So, when you're trying to lie and you try so hard, God can expose you. If it's true that he was attacked somewhere, the body wouldn't have been wrapped with a carpet.
Mm-hmm.
The body was wrapped with a carpet before he got bent.
Which probably could mean that the person wanted to provide more fuel for the burning to take place. Or perhaps he wanted to conceal the body and transport it to another location before the burning took place. So
the police will definitely
the police will definitely do that.
Thank you.
But that's an unfortunate, as we talk about these things, this is somebody's father, somebody has
father of three.
Somebody has been, made here, fatherless by this incident, and that's unfortunate.
Anyway, we'll continue with the stories on the Daily Gist.
I recall before the Iraqi war, I was on a ship that started the war, actually.
Oh, really?
And I recall when we were sending the Tomahawks, to Iraq, soldiers will go excited, writing on it, go to hell Saddam, F you Saddam, and what have you. And I was standing there, very quiet, and I said, you know what? So I called one guy and said, somebody's going to eat that, right? So I was trying to draw the attention to the human side of soldiers, that as we push a button and sense of these missiles, somebody is going to lose their father. Others are going to lose their mothers and what have you. So, some of these crimes, are not just against those who have left, because they've left, but those who remain and have lost a dear one,
Anyway, it's quite difficult for the family at this point, and so we pray with the family, and we are hoping justice will be served. Ablekuma blamed for U.S. visa restrictions. National Cathedral Board rejects Muhammad's Concert Center, and Ibrahim Muhammad's $100 million Black Volta gold deal catches fire. That'll be all for the Daily Gist newspaper. The next newspaper is the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. The Ghanaian Publisher, LGBTQ plus vote abstention. Government sold out Ghana's values, says Jinapo. Black Volta gold dispute. Land Minister calls for truce. NPP back in Ablekuma North race rallies behind Ikuya Efriye. This morning, if you know that Ikuya Efriye is your person, go and vote for her. If you know that Irabna Orbin is your person, go and vote for her. The Chronicle newspaper is the final newspaper. The Chronicle. Besman allegedly steals 14.5 million Ghana cedis from the late John Kuma's family company. Oh, really? If it doesn't become an allegation and it becomes true, then this is serious.
Very serious. Very, very serious. The issue is it possible to also comment on the U.S. visa?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I think it's unfortunate that people are probably blaming the foreign minister for this. First of all, this is not happening to just Ghana. And the new administration in NDC, in the White House, is perhaps on, if you look at the trade war that is currently existing between the U.S. and other nations, it tells you that, some of the things they don't understand, they don't take their time to look at what the actual details of some of these relationships are, and they go ahead and slap tariffs on other nations just because they said once let's say Ghana exports more into the United States than they import, they say that they are being cheated by Ghana. And that they came up with a formula and slapped trade. And they are trying to do that with visas too. But if you look at the visa regimes of the two nations, even though we have shorter stay visas, the United States is actually living deliciously on visa fees from some of these third world countries, in the sense that the volume of people who show up at their embassies, for visas. So that, once again, just like they did with the trade, the trade wars with other nations, they are only looking at the kinds of visas that we issue. And based on that, they are trying to say, okay, we would also give you the same length of visas so that the frequency of you coming to us will be similar. But frequency is not just how many times an individual comes to the embassy. It is also how many people are going to the embassy. And when you look at that, the numbers are not even comparable. And most of the people who even go to these embassies for visas to come are still Ghanaians who have naturalized and travel with most of them travel with the American passport. So once again, the Trump administration, due to whatever, foreign policy that they are trying to pursue, have decided that they would reciprocate the visa rules that exist in other nations, and it's not just Ghana that is affected. I think
it's not just Ghana. I think Nigeria is also affected in this instance. Okay. Other stories here. Police exhume another body in Adidome enclave. Hey, what's happening in Adidome? Quite serious. Anyway, there's a Bible verse that Chronicle always gives to us. So today we are taking it from Mark, and it says, Mark chapter 12, verse 40. But they cheat widows and steal their houses, and then try to make themselves look good by saying long prayers, they'll receive a greater punishment. But they cheat widows and steal their houses, and then try to make themselves look good by saying long prayers, they'll receive a greater punishment. Mark chapter 12, verse 40. Businessman allegedly steals 14.5 million Ghana cedis from late John Kuma's family company. Now, the case is in court. And so this is what the Chronicle newspaper is saying. Now, the NPP addressed Ghanaians, telling us that they will not participate in this election. That's the Ablekuma North rerun election. Let's take a look at the report.
Of 4th January, whereby the EC was ordered to go and complete collation and declare the winner in some selected constituencies had not been adhered to by the Electoral Commission. Back and forth, we were able to collate almost all the polling station results in Ablekuma North, leaving only 3. And therefore, even with respect to a letter that I wrote to the Electoral Commission on the 3rd of June, asking about the update of Ablekuma North, whereby the Electoral Commission confirmed to the New Patriotic Party that indeed it is left with only 3 polling stations. Again, the Electoral Commission, led by Deputy Commissioner Dr. Bosman, under oath went to Parliament and also confirmed same that so far as they are aware and so far as they know, it is only left with 3 polling stations at Ablekuma North. And therefore, it comes as very shocking that the Electoral Commission, based on its own conduct and also based on facts, based on their correspondence with the NPP, their pronouncement in Parliament, and even engagement with political parties when it happened on June 12th, where they maintained their position that it is left with 3 polling stations, will sadly make a U-turn. Indeed, it is a shame for this country. The inconsistency from the Electoral Commission is a shame. But for us in the New Patriotic Party, we remain resolute, and we know that our candidate, Nana Ekuafri, won the elections with a margin of 414 votes. per...
This is what the NPP officials said, or the leadership of the NPP said, that they were not going to participate in the Ablekuma North rerun election. But there was a sudden turnaround where the candidate, Nanekua Usufriye, came out to let us know that she was going to contest that seat because she believes she is the chosen one. I've been joined by Ishaq Ibrahim, Esquire. He's a member of the NPP Legal Directorate. Good morning, Ishaq.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well. And good morning to your viewers.
Great.
And good morning, of course, to my colleague here.
Yeah. So, Ishaq, before we came on behind the scenes, I asked you a question.
Yes.
And I wanted to find out if this was okay. For you as a party, because as it stands now, a lot of Ghanaians will think there's division within the party.
Okay.
The party says, we are not going for this election. The candidate says, I will go for the election. And so, in the eyes of the people, there's a division in the party.
Good morning to Ghanaians as well. Okay, so I don't say there's any disunity. This does not really communicate disunity, because the party as a body have taken a principled position, because the party believes that this particular election ought not to be conducted. Especially the Electoral Commission have created some reasonable expectation to the NPP as a party and to Ghanaians that the only thing outstanding was 3 polling stations. And that is how they have consistently communicated. They have gone to court on a sworn affidavit that only 3 were outstanding. They went back to Parliament and they have repeated that. So this was a position. So if for some reason the Electoral Commission wanted to depart from their position, perhaps going to court for further directive would have been proper, because the court have already directed them to collate and declare results. So what they have done is just, the decision is just so bizarre. And as I said to other sister stations, there's a principle here. The principle is that nobody should benefit from their own wrong. And here, I believe the problems that we currently have created is created by the NDC as a party. We all remember during the period that they were declaring election, their supporters, especially Malik Basentali, was there calling out members to besiege the polling stations and the coalition stations. People went and burned down the facility that was keeping these particular electoral processes. And then on that basis, Electoral Commission said that what you have so far is enough for you to collect, even though the ballots together with some of the evidence was burned down. So why should the NDC be given another opportunity to contest? This is what we mean by benefiting from your own wrong. It gives a wrong signal. That's why the MPP doesn't want to go along with this particular decision. It gives a wrong signals to people of the country and to candidates in particular, that whenever you have a result that you are not happy with, go and burn down the facility. The Electoral Commission will give you another opportunity. So I can understand why the MPP said, we are not going to validate this easy decision. This decision is just so wrong. Perhaps if you had gone to court and the court gave further directives, and if that directives were to be that, go and vote, just as when the Supreme Court gave that directive in the Akwatia case. So the MPP doesn't want to validate this particular process. Okay. Nevertheless, the individuals still retain their right. And it is her right she wants to exercise, to say that, look, I am capable of winning this election, even though MPP has taken a principled stand. I, as an individual, it is my right to contest, and for this reason is why she is contested. So I can equally understand her position. And I'll urge members within that particular constituency to help her really retain that particular seat. Because what the NDC is doing, we all know what they are trying to do. They are 1 seat short of having overall supermajority, 2/3. And the people of this country should not give these people the opportunity to become the elected dictatorship. And they are making it very clear. In fact, they come up with this ridiculous statement that they are just 1 seat short of even capable of turning a man to a woman. So as if the Ghanaian parliament is operating in the British parliamentary principle like parliamentary supremacy. In Ghana, we don't have parliamentary supremacy. We have separation of powers and check and balances. So parliament technically cannot just do whatever they want. Even though I believe they have two-thirds majority, together with the president, they are able to do so much constitutional amendments, especially those that are not entrenched.
All right. Now, you're mentioning that people should go and support Nana Akua-Addo,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And the party says we don't want to participate.
Yes.
Where do you stand, lawyer?
Well, I've already told you where I stand. I understood both positions. They are all right. Okay. The MPP have taken a principled position that we don't want to validate this process. It's wrong.
That's a leadership.
Yes.
Okay.
It's wrong.
Now,
but individually, yeah, if I were in her constituency, I would probably be going out to campaign and vote for her because of the decisions of the erroneous decision by the court that they are not going to impose an injunction.
So yesterday, one of our reporters was on ground.
Yes.
The reporter asked a few people,
yes.
and what they said was that they will not go out there because the party has decided that they're not going to participate. Don't you think this will affect your votes?
Well, sometimes you have to sacrifice your interest for your principles. So that is what is happening. So this is a principle stand of which I support it, I understand it. But in view of the fact that the court has refused to impose an injunction, which I think is just wrong, because an injunction is usually easier to obtain. We use what we call the American Cinemite test, the balance of convenience, where does it lie? And it lies within the MPP that if you allow these particular elections to go ahead, then the subsequent substantive case that is going to be heard, it will not be important. The outcome will not be important. Because if the NDC person had won this, God forbid they win this coming election, and then you then decide the substantive case that it was the MPP candidate who was validly elected. Now you now have two people contesting, having a similar rights contested, because they would have both claimed that they have won election. So the court decision didn't make sense, but we did accept it. So I think it is within her right. And then if people in the constituency are listening to me this morning, take a decision, support her, because I personally don't want this MPP to have a supermajority. And I believe that if they have a supermajority, NDC, if they have a supermajority, they will do damage to the Ghanaian society.
All right. Perfect.
Well, first of all, I think that we have to look at the laws of the country that govern election declaration, running of elections and election declaration. And who is in charge of validation of statement of polls, and electoral processes, and as to whether there is, it's coming from the Electoral Commission or political parties. I am told that, I haven't been, those days I was very busy with certain reports, so I wasn't really following what was happening, but at least what has emerged from reports and conversations that I've had with some of our people on the ground is that we don't have the benefit of the pink sheets. And that's unfortunate. So what we have is some political parties who have brought in scanned copies of the pink sheets, which we said that at the point that it's like Kotoko and Haas have gone for a football match, and we are taking, more or less some evidence that will impact the outcome from one of these two teams who have only gone to the field to play the soccer game because they want to win. So they have an interest. So we said that, it's not in the right, sense that we have political parties who are now providing pink sheets that are going to be used to declare results. The EC did not take our position on that matter. They said that if their presiding officers would be able to authenticate those pink sheets, they would accept it. So even though over 40 pink sheets came from the MPP, because they were authenticated by, some of them were authenticated by the presiding officers, against what our position was. The EC accepted those. But 19 of such...
So 18 were authenticated, 19 were not.
Yes, and 19 of such pink sheets, the presiding officer says they cannot authenticate their genuineness. Are we saying that if you look at the laws of our nation, now it is, we have a document that is coming from the New Patriotic Party. That is coming from the New Patriotic Party saying this is the results of these 19 police stations. The EC officer says we cannot vouch for these documents. We should accept it. I mean, come on. Where is the principle against interest, sacrifice interest against principle in this matter? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they have other issues that they are complaining about, that people have not been arrested. I listened to Bossman this morning, and as a matter of fact, around 2 a.m., that's when I listened to him. I finished with what I was doing, and I listened to him. I was very, very upset because some of the commentary suggests that perhaps I was at IPAC in 2019, leading up to the 2020 elections, and the biasness that came from the EC that time. Some of the things, commentary that he made, somebody has videoed himself and bent people down, the person has still not been arrested. You see, look, the people who killed others in Bono Ahafo, they still have not been arrested. I also was going Double and Co. There was a government commission white paper on this matter that said that they should be dealt with. They have not been arrested. You see, let's not shift positions as to when things favor us as a political party. I don't do that when I'm here. And I don't know if you have noticed that. When there was an issue, there's an issue with our political party, I come out to say, look, this one, when they say Sammy Jempiro, I say, look, Sammy himself, nobody has done anything right and apologized. He has apologized, so let's accept that. He himself says that. In any case, let's assume that he's right. The people who put him in a political position, some of them have expressed the fact that they are not happy with what he has done. So that makes it wrong. Even though, to his defense, there was nothing in the code of conduct that he had actually gone against. You understand? So I have sat here and taken positions that are not very partisan, be very objective, and unfortunately for the MPP, I have played too much role in the past in these electoral processes, and I, have a lot of history of what has occurred. So I don't know what they mean by, a political party saying we are not contesting, and the candidate for the political party say, I am going ahead to contest on the ticket of that political party. Right. There's some form of inconsistency in this matter, because he's not running as an independent. She's not running as an independent, candidate. She's running on the ticket of the MPP. Right.
Talking about that, I want us to take a look at Dr. Bossman Asare when he addressed the press yesterday.
Silence on the lingering Ablekuma North election impasse. Dr. Bossman Asare is a deputy commissioner at the EC.
25 polling station results were added to the collation. All the 25 carbonized polling station results were received from the MPP. It is important to emphasize that the said 25 pink sheets were not scanned pink sheets, but carbon copies from the MPP. Even though the NDC collation agents reported late that day, that is the 21st December 2024, the carbon copies had been authenticated. After the carbon copies had been authenticated by the return officer, the NDC agents were allowed to review and verify the 10 carbonized copies of the results presented by the MPP. Following that, the remaining 15 carbon copies were authenticated by both NDC and MPP agents for that day. They also reviewed the scanned pink sheets. This brought the number of collected polling stations to 278, Thus, 3 polling station results became outstanding. The NDC at the meeting raised a number of issues and followed up with a letter to the Commission. The Commission responded to all the concerns raised by the NDC in their letters dated 17th March and 30th April 2025. Among the issues raised by the NDC was the lack of formal invitation to participate in the collation process, denial of involvement of NDC agents in the collation of the 25 scanned pink sheets on the 21st of December 2024, and concerns about the use of scanned pink sheets from the MPP.
Dr. Bosman Asare also expressed frustration with the Ghana Police Service, which he says failed to provide adequate security to complete the collation earlier.
Intended to move the ballot boxes to a more secure location. Party supporters invaded the premises of the Kwashiman cluster of schools and set fire to the library where the ballot boxes and BVDs were kept. All the ballot papers were destroyed in the process, thereby denying the Commission the opportunity to use the ballot papers to complete the collation. To date, the gentleman who perpetrated this crime, though he recorded its illegal act and circulated it on social media, has not been arrested.
In a surprising turn, the EC now says it will rerun elections in 19 polling stations.
So the EC is rerunning elections in 19 polling stations. And I think Griffith did ask a question. You know, the party is supposed to be behind Nanekwe Ruswekwe, because she's not running as an independent candidate. She's running on the ticket of the party.
Yeah.
Yet the party says we are not going for this election.
So you have to remember that this is not a fresh election.
Yes.
It's just to do some aspect of it. So the party is not entering somebody fresh. And this question would have been valid if they were entering somebody as fresh candidate. This is an outstanding election that Electoral Commission thinks there is a need to just finish it up. So I don't see any problem here. So as I said, individual rights is also engaged. It is within her constitutional right to contest. And if she wants to complete the process, that is her personal decision. But let me just deal with my colleague here. He made reference to the fact that there were certain events in the BA that individuals who have not been arrested. Did they identify a specific person who was responsible for the violence in Techima? The answer is no. The police have conducted investigation, but nothing of that sort has been ascertained. Here, the Electoral Commission themselves is saying that somebody recorded themselves, more or less reporting themselves that I have done it and I am here. What kind of democracy is that? That nobody will pick that person up. So it is right that he will lament on that. The second thing is that a court has made an order to the police, help provide security for the coalition to take place. What stopped the police from obeying that particular court order? It is just the NDC, because they are now at the helm of affairs. It is you. The IGP is directly controlled by you. You can ask the IGP to provide those people. You wouldn't do it because they have there to benefit. They want to benefit from those particular kiosks. And as I said, why is this election taking place in the first place? It is because of the violence visited by NDC hooligans on those polling stations and burning down that facility. So why would you allow somebody to benefit under such circumstances?
During your presser by the party, your party General Secretary did mention that you were leading with over 400 votes, right?
Yes.
Now, yesterday, also, Tanko Computer did say that there was another coalition that was done between all the parties by the EC, but it's not 400, but rather 48 that the party was leading.
So which of them do you want to believe? Our party or Tanko Computer?
No, so it's just a question. I can't believe.
I mean, you know clearly that.
Tanko says they didn't conduct the counting. The counting was done by the EC.
Okay.
Yes, and he was present. He represented the NDC.
Oh yes.
There was a representation from the NPP as well.
You wouldn't want me to comment about the discrepancy between Tanko Computer and MPP. Of course, MPP is right.
I'm talking about Tanko. I'm talking about the 48 that he said when they tabulated there at the EC office. This wasn't done by the NDC.
Okay.
It was done at the EC office.
Okay.
Yes.
Has this been confirmed by the EC office?
EC hasn't spoken yet.
Yes, so it's Tanko Computer. I mean, we shouldn't be talking about Tanko Computer saying something. Just recently, he was written to by the Electoral Commission to stop calling himself a doctor. This guy is a guy who faked his own a PhD from a university that does not exist. I mean, how can you ask me to comment the discrepancy between the MPP and such a person? Why didn't you call him Dr. Tanko? He has no credibility for me to make it even a comparison. Maybe cite somebody else, but not Tanko. Tanko shouldn't be an authority to cite anything.
But he represented the NDC then.
Yes, and he faked a PhD. If somebody can go ahead.
So you're saying Tanko is lying with...
He has no credibility. So, I mean, a word from Tanko it should not even be put forward by... I mean, you shouldn't be doing that.
Why shouldn't I? That's what he said.
This is a guy who has faked a PhD.
I don't think we know that for a fact that he has...
No, we know that for a fact. We know the university...
Please.
Oh, look at Manasseh Azuri work. Manasseh Azuri have research. Where is that university?
Wait.
Where is the university located?
I beg you, it's not... When there is such a serious allegation against somebody, it's not Manasseh Azuri who confirms that...
He has been directed not to use PhD.
At that time where there was that publication that he had been written to. He also said that he had not been written to. The institution had not received.
So why is she not calling her Dr. Tanko?
Let's not...
The name I have is Tanko.
No, baby, 4 weeks ago, he was called Dr. Tanko. Until that already came in, he dropped it.
Please.
Where is the university? You tell me.
Let's not...
Which country is the university?
Let's not move away from the topic that we are discussing. Because it's important.
So what
the message, we have been asked to comment on the message. And the messenger is not credible. That's the point I'm trying to make.
So if the EC should come out and give this exact figure, then it means that the NPP was not telling the truth. Is that what it is?
Well, if the EC, then the NPP will need to look at their figures. But it's still pointing to the fact that the NPP had won.
Okay.
It's still pointing to the fact that even it's just first, I mean, the principle here in election is first past the ballot. So if it is one, the NPP candidate would have still won, isn't it? But the point I'm making is that you are asking me to comment on a message. And the bearer of the message is not credible. That's what I was just pointing.
Okay, thank you. Griffith?
Let me state that, first of all, he cited certain, an instance in Brown where he said that we had not actually seen the person who was involved in the unfortunate incidents that led to some people dying. Let me state that. What about Ayawaso West Wogon, where we have recordings all over the place? You are citing recordings as a credible evidence, and the likes of Double, who President Akufo-Addo himself commissioned, a group to conduct inquiry into the matter, and issued a white paper indicated that the likes of Double should be prosecuted. Somebody who was selling phones and you give him... I have served in the military and I get offended when people are given, access to weapons when they have no idea what it means to pull a trigger and make somebody fatherless or motherless. Look at Ejura, for example. A security man during a protest points a weapon into the crowd, and pulls a trigger. Do you know that there are rules that govern the use of deadly force? Such person has no business being in the security forces as we speak. They say do not point. The first rule of deadly force use is don't point a weapon at anything you don't intend to kill. That's the first rule. The second rule says if the person has the opportunity, the capability, and the intent, we call it deadly force triangle, to take your life, then you have the right to take his. Those were people who were not armed. They didn't have the capability to inflict any harm on the security forces. Such a person is still listed in the security force under the presidency of Nana Akufo-Addo. You understand? You pass.
Why have you taken him out?
Well, we just came to power. We are barely a year into power, 6-7 months now. I mean, one of the campaign promises is that some of these things have no expiration date. Crime has no expiration date, so this will be looked at.
Okay.
So we just came to power. We came to power in an economy that has been pushed down the toilet by the previous administration, and we are trying to do our best, and you would agree with me that, you know, instilling confidence of the international community and the and Ghanaians at large in the economy of this country is probably more important than running after some of these things. It doesn't mean we will not. So I want to differ that, you know, you said there are videos out. In any case, most of the things that occurred before the 7th of January. The president-elect at that time, who is now the president of the Republic, reminded Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that he was still in charge, and the commander-in-chief of the Ghanaian Armed Forces, and in charge of the security forces. And his appointee, Dampari, was in charge of the police forces when most of these things occurred. So I beg you, let us not, try to. There are so many instances, for example, in the 2020 elections, when there was a press conference held that, we had gotten to a certain level of, parliamentary seats. And all of a sudden, the Electoral Commission's High Command sent instructions to some of the places where there had not been declaration to stop the coalition process, to allow all sort of things to happen. Lights went off, some ballot boxes got missing. These things have happened in this country, and we haven't forgotten about them. We don't have such a thin memory. We haven't forgotten about those things.
But us not forgetting about them, I just want to find out, two wrongs don't make a right.
Exactly.
If really this man recorded himself and bent the ballot papers, don't you think...
I want to see the recording.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
But I mean, Dr. Bosman Asari says there is a recording of a young man who actually put fire in these papers. He says there's a recording. The man hasn't been arrested. If this is really true, why is this man still on the street?
I'm glad you said if it is true. Take that. You see, when I started my submission, I said that I was very angry when I was watching. In fact, I didn't even finish watching the press conference. I was just too angry because I remember everything that Dr. Bosman Asari did, because I was at IPAC. Sitting there for the first time in the Fourth Republic, we went to an election where the most important field on the pink sheet, that shows how many people have been validated by the biometric system, was missing on the pink sheet. All these things have happened under the watch of Dr. Bosman Asari. Dr. Bosman Asari and Madam Jane Ensah passed commentary that the security is not their business, and according to them, the elections of Ayawaso West Wogom was free and fair.
Talking about security, if you're watching us right now, you see on the screen the security is on ground. What you're seeing is a live view of Ablekuma North as they prepare to cast their votes. I think some people have even started casting their votes already. And so people are casting their votes already for who they want to represent them in Parliament, whether it will be Nanekwe Owusu-Afriyie or Irabna Orbin. Now, Irabna Orbin is representing the NDC, and Nanekwe Owusu-Afriyie is representing the NPP. Now, this is a stronghold of the NPP. Will the NDC be able to defy the odds, or Nanekwe Owusu-Afriyie, by her word saying that she is the chosen one, will she definitely come out as the chosen one today? Now, the police actually told us that they will be on ground, assured security, and this is what they said. The Accra Regional Police Command wishes to assure the public of its preparedness to provide adequate security before, during, and after parliamentary rerun at Ablekuma North constituency, scheduled for Friday, 11th July 2025. The Electoral Commission has designated 19 polling stations within the constituency for the rerun, and police personnel will be deployed to all locations to maintain peace, law, and order throughout the process. In addition to polling station security, police will monitor vehicular and pedestrian traffic around the voting areas. Strategic barriers will be mounted to prevent unauthorized access to polling centers. The Accra Regional Police Command appeals to the public to cooperate fully with security personnel, observe electoral rules, and help maintain a peaceful atmosphere throughout the election. The public is encouraged to report suspicious activities or individuals to the police immediately by calling 1-8 555 or 192 and assigned by Ms. Juliana Obing, Superintendent, Head of Public Affairs, Accra Region. And so those of you who are going to vote, please, as assured, security will be tight. And also the Defense Minister yesterday did mention that there will not be any military presence on ground, which I think people are happy about because people don't want to see military presence on ground. Yes, lawyer?
Well, this police statement, I don't know what they are trying to communicate. They must be ashamed of themselves. It's because of their failure. We are where we are because of their failure.
What did they do?
With the ballot boxes, if they had provided adequate security, it would not even be burned down. If they had listened to the court orders that provide security for the coalition to take place, and they have failed to do that. If they had provided the security for the coalition to take place, wouldn't have averted this decision by the EC to have that election. So this doesn't convince anyone. Mm-hmm. So for me, look at the question that you asked, that is it right, especially a party that has campaigned on research, to say that we have to be consistently wrong to be right? That in his mind, we're wrong in Tichima, we're wrong in the incidents in Accra, and therefore we can equally be wrong here. I mean, that is a wrong argument. And I enjoy the military indication you are giving to us. Perhaps you ought to give that to the president, that you do not pull trigger on anything you don't intend to kill. Just recently, 3 months ago, in my constituency in Wale Wale, the military, before the president even declared a curfew, had beaten and killed somebody. 2 people had been killed. One trigger was pulled, and the person died. 1 person was beaten out by the security to death. Up to now, no arrest has been taking place, even though people knew the military officer who have done it. So you can't just point to MPP era, this has happened, as if in your era it can never happen. I'll just point out to you the Wale Wale incidents, killing somebody in the Chief Palace, nobody has been arrested. So give that indication to President Mahama that this is the principle in military, and the military have violated it. So for me, the whole the precedent this is setting for the future is what I'm worried about.
All right.
If we want to become a mature democracy, we have to take elections seriously. And there's no second chances for people who have lost election. You have to wait for 4 years.
Let's go on grounds to speak with my colleague Jackie, who is going to tell us exactly what is happening. Good morning, Jackie.
Independent dictated to by any person or institution.
Or can I comment whilst we are waiting? Oh, it's going. Oh, it would have been nice if we would have heard.
All right, so we'll definitely be going back to Jackie to have to hear what is happening on ground. Let me ask Griffith, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I just want to say I didn't state that the fact that it had been wrong in the past makes it right. Mm-hmm. I indicated that I had not seen that video.
Yes.
I haven't. And you have not seen it either.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I won't lie.
It's coming from Dr. Bosman Asari. Perhaps he could have, as a guardian, sent that to the security forces for investigation to take place. In any case, I also indicated that I wasn't happy with Dr. Bosman Asari saying certain things during the press conference. He sounded more like a spokesman for the MPP than as he has always been. And this is the same person who I indicated that said there was no violence according to them, the Iowa West Wagon election was free and fair. This is the same person who called the NDC a threat to the democracy of this country, as an electoral official. You see, so the same person same group that presided over the use of pink sheets that had no place for anybody to write how many people had been validated with the biometric system. The system that would ensure that we remove the human interface from the accountability of the election results. And by removing that, it gives room for people to do all sorts of, things.
Right.
So I'm not concluding that. And the Wale Wale incident, I'm not privy to that information.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Going back on ground. Hello, Jackie.
Yeah, Rosalind, good morning to you and our lovely audience, Arida Joy Prime. I'm currently live inside the Ablekuma North constituency, but to be precise, or Doko, I've been to a couple of the polling stations right here, and the first vote has already been cast at the previous polling station that I was at. I think 2 people have voted so far, and running you through some of the things that have happened earlier. The Accra mayor was here. I had a conversation with him. He's also visited a couple of the polling stations, and his observation so far that everything is underway, is calm and is peaceful. But just so you know, around 6:30, most of the polling stations, they were now setting up. Unlike in 2024, the elections, when we got here like 5:30, 6 a.m., they were already set up. This time around 6:30, almost 7, we realized that most of these polling stations, they were now setting up. But then, as you can see, a lot of people passing through this very polling station. This is the Church of Pentecost, Electoral North 2, where they're expecting 66 voters here today. And I'm pretty sure the first person is right about now to cast her vote. But just as I said, where I'm situated at, I'm surrounded with around 4 polling stations, and that place, the vote has already been cast. But this place, this is the first voter who is here to cast her votes, as you can see right now. But then I'm yet to move to the other polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. Been to 4 already, 4 out of 19. Hopefully, I'll be to others. My colleague James Aveji is also on the ground, and he is also moving to other places. One thing we've also noticed is that the security seems to be very uptight here. We've seen a lot of people around earlier. In fact, I even thought they were the voters, but then we didn't see the voters queuing as much as we saw in 2024. They came in some few minutes before 7, and the people that I came to meet, I initially thought they were voters, but with my conversation with them off camera, it seems that they're here party faithfuls to support and protect the ballot box, as I would say. I know that might not be the right word, but that is what they say, that they, at the end of the day, they want to make sure that the right thing is done. But the security is here. There are a lot of security personnel at Ablekuma North constituency.
You are. Can you hear me, Jackie? Jackie, can you hear me, please?
Currently Ablekuma North, but the couple of polling stations around Odoko, where I'm situated at the Church of Pentecost, Odoko North 4, and right behind me is Church of Pentecost, Odoko North 2. Then there's Church of Presby Church right in front there, and there's another Church of Pentecost 3 around. So I'm surrounded by a couple of polling stations, just roving around these ones in the area. But then we have some at Awoshi, we have some at Sakaman, Bintu Complex, and a lot more.
So as of now, you did mention that it's a bit of a low voter turnout as compared to what happened in 2024. Is it correct?
Okay, Rosalind, so basically when it comes to the voter turnout, as I was saying earlier, you know, in 2024, the election was presidential and parliamentary. A lot of people came out in their numbers because I was at my voting, because I reported here in Ablekuma North, and where I was at, I realized there was a long queue there, right around 5:30, 5 a.m. A lot of people had queued, but you know, these are few polling stations that they are just outstanding. And yesterday, when I was in the area, most people were not even, some of them were not aware that they had to come back and vote. And I'm pretty sure that this is also due to the fact that people have to go to work and all that. But we're hoping that as the day progresses, a lot of people would be around. But as you can see, they're just coming in ones and twos, but I haven't seen any massive queue yet.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much. We'll definitely be coming back to you to get to know more of what is happening on ground. All right, so back into the studio. It's quite interesting. So currently, the NPP, you know you're going to win because you believe that you already won, right?
Well, as we said, NPP formally as a party is not endorsing it, but the individual. I have no doubt. I mean, I've listened to her expressing sentiments and the fact that she has won it. And I hope she wins the seat.
All right.
Yes.
And okay, so let's go on Zoom and speak to Osei Kwapong. And Osei Kwapong is actually a political analyst. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning to you.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well by God's grace. Now, it's quite an interesting race because we have a candidate who is not being backed by the party and another candidate who is being backed by the party. Now, let's start from the NPP and their candidate. The NPP came out to let us know that they were not in support of the election. However, the candidate has said that she is going to run to represent the people of Ablekuma North if she is elected as their member of parliament. People feel there's division in the party. Do you think this is not a good one in the eyes of the people for the party?
Thank you very much. I think that initially when the party had raised some concerns about the EC's decision to rerun the election in a number of polling stations, citing that they were unclear as to why the EC was doing that, questioned the competence of the EC, and actually said that they would not participate in the rerun. I'm curious as to whether before going public with that decision or that, announcement that they would not participate, that they had coordinated with the candidate to see where the candidate also stood on the issue of whether she should participate in the rerun or not. That coordination and making sure that both party and candidate were on the same page would have been very important, because if you look at some of the public conversations, just like you have raised, the question then was, is the party participating or not? Are they in or are they out? Because as of yesterday, you were also seeing some campaign activities on behalf of by the candidate and some of the supporters, of the candidate. I just hope that it is not a sign of any sort of deepening division in the party. At the end of the day, the candidate still has that. It is still up to the candidate to go ahead and participate in the election or not. But I would have hoped that the party and the candidate would have been on the same page before that announcement, I think, was by the General Secretary of the party, suggesting that NPP would not participate in the election.
Now, Doc, some people are of the opinion that the leadership of the party is the reason why, also one of the reasons why the NPP lost elections in 2024. Now, there's division. Again, we see this where we are not seeing the party rally behind Nane Ikea. So, as it stands now, do you think that the people, the grassroots, will really be in support of the leadership of the party?
In terms of the support of the leadership, in terms of the next leadership elections.
The next leadership elections.
It will be very interesting to see that. I'm sure there are some who, because if you look at some of the commentary and some of the conversations in public spaces, there are some who are of the belief that the party needs to change the party leadership. So I won't be surprised if there is some erosion of support for the party leaders and those who decide to contest the next internal party elections, either seeking some of the same positions they are holding or other positions. I can definitely see some erosion of support. The thing that I'm not 100% clear about is, will that erosion of support be deep enough that we would see a total overhaul of the party leadership come the next internal elections that would happen?
What does it mean for the NPP to retain the seat?
Well, it is their seat. In fact, before I joined, I went back to check the history of, Ablekuma North. And it appears that Ablekuma North has regularly been won by the MPP. And so it would not come as a surprise if they retain that seat. Except that if you also look at the elections, at least the results that we had so far before all of this confusion about collation, recollation, it appeared it was quite a tight race with very, very few votes separating the two candidates. So it looks like it's going to be competitive if we see that same trend from 2024 happening this morning in the 19 police stations. I still expect that the MPP would retain the seat. But the competitive nature of what we saw in 2024, there's also the possibility that the NDC would be able to snatch that seat from them. So if MPP wins, it's their seat, they've kept it, which means that, at least at that constituency level, the party is still in some good graces and good standing with the voters of Ablekuma North. If they lose that seat, then it would just, reiterate what voters had communicated loud and clear in the 2024 election, which was their deep dissatisfaction with the MPP and giving the NDC that outright solid victory, both in the presidential as well as the parliamentary election.
Do you think the NDC has managed to keep the hopes high for Ghanaians to the extent that they will vote them to represent the people of Ablekuma North in Parliament?
So the extent to which Ablekuma North becomes a test of whether the NDC has kept the hope and the faith with the people. I put a few caveats on there, again, especially because historically, Ablekuma North is an NPP seat. But beyond that, I believe that over the last 7 months, overall, the John Mahama administration is working hard to make sure that the confidence, the trust, and the hope reposed in them, giving their margin of victory in 2024 continues and does not wane. I've asserted, and I would continue to assert, that President John Mahama, for me, appears to have learned the lessons of his first presidency, the challenges he faced, how he dealt or did not deal with them. And I sincerely believe that he's been very intentional this time around to ensure that he avoids some of the pitfalls from his first presidency. And so far, if you look at his appointments, the policy choices he's making, is all geared towards ensuring that the second presidency does live to the hope and expectations that Ghanaians have reposed in him as a result of the 2024 elections. If they are able to snatch Ablekuma North, I'm sure they would use that to drive that narrative that it is an indication that Ghanaians are still with them. If they are unable to do that, I can also see the emerging narrative that says, which I've just said, that, well, it's historically an MPP seat, so they've only just claimed what has been theirs over the last several elections. Once
the NPP say that Ghanaians are not happy with the government, that is why they gave them the win?
Oh, definitely. They will say that. You know how the politics of these things work. If the MPP wins, they would definitely say, well, it's a sign that, Ghanaians are not happy with this government, and even a sign that we would be back in 2028. If they lose, they'll find another narrative to explain why they lost.
Anyway, Dr. Osei-Kwapong, thank you so much. Maybe I'll come back to you. I just want to come to the studio and have conversations with my guests in studio. Griffith, this means a lot to the NDC to win, because this will solidify the fact that you say you are working hard if you should win Ablekuma North, which is not your stronghold. You haven't won it before, have you?
As for the fact that we have 19 outstanding polling stations and we are still competitive at Ablekuma North is victory for the NDC. if you look at the results of Ablekuma North, we have never come this close. For the first time, we've won in Adjoa South's constituency. Domi-Kwabenya. We have never come close to, not even 5,000 close to winning Domi-Kwabenya. So I think that the MPP should rather look at what they have done wrong and try to figure out, how to level up with Ghanaians and ensure that they are competitive in future elections. So to me, we already are victorious by remaining competitive in Ablekuma North. My brother said that this will give absolute majority in Parliament. It's so interesting. I was in charge of the by-elections in 1997, Afija-Seche East constituency. This was the same headline that was all over the MPP newspapers, that if we allow we would change the constitution. In fact, it was even more brutal than now, that we were going to have, that time your candidate was from Yamwasi. There was a pharmacist called Shematin. And, there was just one seat separating us from getting 2/3 majority. So that's an interesting, that election took place on the 10th of June, 1997. I remember very well because that day I was hospitalized because I was assaulted in a town called Amnesty. So, I mean, it's interesting. I thought I would bring that up. So many years now, we are here with another attempt at somebody saying we are going to have a straight majority and do what? In any case, there's constitutional review that is going on. Entrenched positions are entrenched and has to take referendum to do that. So I think that, the vote of confidence, the lack of confidence that the people have shown in the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has resulted in where we are right now. And I hope that people will not forget too soon, because perhaps the fact that we are enjoying a situation where our dollar is not only stabilized, but the city has appreciated against the dollar, something that has won the admiration of the international community and then business people in the country. We have gotten positive rating. We are now at B-. B-, my brother. B-. We are moving there. We are in the junk category.
No, but
now, so we are
yes, but the question here is that do Ghanaians believe that you have worked so hard and will give you that resounding victory?
You mean in
the last 7 months, Ablekuma North?
Well, it will not be. I'm hopeful and expectant that the NDC candidate will win. And so I'm very hopeful that will happen. But let's not forget, NDC? These are the total number of voters that are on the registers that are going to be voted today, 6,000.
6,000, yeah. Let's move back to 6,000, yeah.
839. Mm-hmm. In fact, by law, they couldn't have even exceeded 16,000, but the Electoral Commission decided to cut them into half so that, because they wanted to close polls early in the 2024 election. So it's just over 6,000 that is going to vote. And I expect that however the results turn out, politicians will do their job. They would say, hey,
that's what you're doing here.
They'll say, hey, with your by-elections, I've always used to assess how governments have.
This is an assessment.
But this is not even a full by-election. This is a 10% of a by-election.
This is a rerun.
A rerun, actually. I mean, elections outside the general election. Let me not say by-election. Elections outside the general election. So this is just. I teach statistics, so I don't know whether there's a representative sample of the entire Ghanaian population. It may not be, however. So it statistically has no foundation. But I'm very hopeful that our candidates would turn out victorious.
Right.
Because the people have seen the positive signs.
And Erekria also free is very hopeful that she'll win too. But the question here is, does the party believe that Erekria also free will win?
In any case, we have two beautiful women one of which would, and I'm very happy because I mean, somebody who has just daughters and those, and I'm very happy that, women have come this far. And this contest that has gained all this attention is actually, will result in a woman representing the people of Ablekuma North.
That's true. Ishaq,
yeah.
If Nanekria should win,
yes,
should we expect a statement from the party to, support her?
I'm not sure. She's still a member of the MPP. At least the party should congratulate her for taking on not just the MPP, they are taking on the whole government machinery. You must realize that the whole government machinery is over there. And it's very interesting, she said politicians will interpret it differently. And she did mention the fact that there's some progress in the economy and said, Ghanaians would use that as a point to perhaps vote for them. Yes, it's very good you point to some of the achievement. You remember when you celebrated your 120 days or 100 days? We said these were low-hanging fruits. And that when it comes to the heavy lifting, it's where we want the president to show leadership. And as you know, it's currently in the news. Before we went for election, they represented themselves as a party that represent Ghanaian family values. And that under Nana Akufo-Addo, gay and lesbians and LGBT plus whatever KKK was taking over the country. And that there was a need to introduce legislation in parliament. And that they represented the Ghanaian values. The heavy lifting was in the UN Human Rights Council. What happened? A party that presented yourself as if the whole moral fabric of the country was collapsing, and President Akufo-Addo failed to sign the bill. What did you do at the Human Rights Council? What did you do?
Let me
you failed. This is the problem we are having. If a Christian in that constituency...
let me go on Zoom and speak with James Aveji, who is my colleague, and he's also on grounds to let us know what is happening where he is. Good morning, James.
Hello, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Great. Where exactly are you reporting from?
Well, I'm currently at the DVLA polling station here at Awoshe in the Ablekuma North constituency. Earlier, I've been to the Odoko Presby School as well as the Pentecost Church where the election is happening to as part of the 19 polling station. And so this is the third polling station we are visiting this morning. And so far, as you can see in your shot here, all is set for the voting exercise, and voting had started at exactly 7:06 a.m. That's when the first voter cast his ballot. A total of 613 voters are expected to cast their ballot at this particular polling station today. I've been interacting with the presiding officer earlier, Mr. Kwating Jemfi, who tells me that for him, all he expects is a peaceful atmosphere in order to carry out his duties between now and 5 o'clock when polling would end, and counting will start in earnest for a final declaration. Hopefully, by 6-7 p.m., the Electoral Commission should be able to give us a member of parliament for the constituency on the back of all of the, delay and the issues surrounding the controversy that surrounded the exercise so far. We'll come back to that briefly, but I can say that there is enough provision of security here as we speak. A number of police officers are around, both in the inner perimeter as well as outside observing the process. So you see in your shot there, a number of police officers still mounting barricades in order to cordon off the place to the public. At least 10-15 of them in your shot there. And when you move to the other side, you see a number of them also fully armed, holding a gun, manning the main entrance to the voting area. And so you see the other security officials, including the police service officers, at the entrance there, also manning the gate to the polling center. The situation has been the same at the two previous polling centers we went to. We got here some few minutes to 6, and as at 6:40, when we went to the Presby School, the police were already on the grounds waiting for the electoral officers, Electoral Commission officers to get to the grounds and set up for the activities to start. And so, so far, it has been a peaceful atmosphere here in the Ablekuma North constituency from the 3 polling stations I have visited so far. We'll try and get to the other ones, but the controversy that surrounds the elections and the coalition exercise. And so the hope of the residents, the voters, the constituents, as well as the general public is that today's activity goes on peacefully, and by end of the day, the Electoral Commission should be able to produce a candidate or an MP-elect for the Ablekuma North constituency. And so that's what is happening here at the DVLA voting center. A number of the public who are not voting are also standing around catching a glimpse of what is happening. And so, so far, 4 I have counted have voted so far, and a number of them are also in line. There's not a huge queue as we see with general election. Remember, this is not a general election where people who are not even interested in the parliamentary election will come here to vote for a presidential candidate. And so it has generally been a slow start here at this particular polling station, and I want to believe at other polling stations as well. But the belief is that in the course of the day, in the afternoon, towards the late hours of voting, 3-4 p.m., those who have gone to ply their trade and gone to do other activities would be trooping in to do their last-minute voting. But so far, 4 or 5 people have voted so far in the first 30 minutes of the voting exercise here at the DVLA polling station in Awoshi as we speak.
All right, thank you so much, James. So we'll definitely come back to you for more updates. 4 people so far have gone to cast their votes. They're expecting 613. Yeah. Maybe because it's a weekday, like you said, so people have gone to work after working hours, so they'll go cast their votes. But then it's still very low because they could have still gone to cast their votes and gone to work.
Yeah, it is very low. There's no doubt about that. And usually the elections and even limited registration processes have always been characterized with very low, very low turnouts. And especially when they have to go and, check their registration and all that. So these off-peak political activities by the EC has always registered very low turnout. So it's not unusual. It's
normal.
It's very normal.
Yeah.
I want to respond to my brother there.
I didn't even finish my statement. I'm not sure what you are responding to.
When he said
I didn't make the point.
It looks like today the two of you, everybody is responding to each other.
He was talking about double standards on our part. Probably what he was insinuated that.
I didn't finish. Maybe perhaps.
Okay, so maybe you should finish. Yes. Please go ahead.
So the point I was making is that the Human Rights Council, there was an opportunity to vote against the council because the council has given a mandate to a particular group, and they are responsible for campaigning not just rights of LGBT people, but also to promote the practice as well. And if in Ghana you are telling people there's a need to have legislation, and you painted another party as for gay people, you are not for gay people. This was a good opportunity to prove to the people of Ghana that you are not just saying something at home. Even abroad, you are promoting it. What did you do? So the point I was making is that if you are at Ablekuma today and you voted against the MPP candidate on the basis of what these people said, just know that they are hypocrites. They do not represent any principles. They were just saying that out of political convenience. And whilst it turned their economic achievement, if you believe in your Christian, Muslim values, this is an opportunity to vote them down. You can now come with your counter.
First of all, let me state that the issue that led to the government abstaining, I'm sure some also leading members of the NDC have expressed their disappointment at that issue, the fact that they abstained. However, the position of the NDC has been very consistent in this matter. We said it is nobody's business. When the foreign missions were breathing down our throat, that we should accept gay rights as human rights here in Ghana. We said what they do in their country is their business. We do not have that intention to dictate to them what their values are. Because as a people, we have our culture and our values. And our values frown against, homosexuality. And therefore, promotion of same within our jurisdiction would sharply contradict our values. And therefore, we were not in favor of such, such promotions. What we came up against was a government who was not only allowing the promotion of such values, but was redefining gender, which has always been and would always remain between male and female,
Male and female, all right.
to be male, female, and other.
Okay.
And had also caused the insertion of same into the curriculum of our children in this country. You remember certain books we said had to be bent. Textbooks had to be bent within the primary school, the basic schools, because they were beginning to promote this idea of, gender being male, female, and other, and what have you, which we thought was not in the... So this was happening under the presidency of the Danfo Akufo.
Okay.
That's what we were talking about. So we are consistent.
Okay,
if the United Nations say they want to do whatever in other countries, that's their business.
Ablekuma North
that's their business.
To the polls, 19 polling stations.
That's their business. We don't want it here.
Stations. We're expecting over 6,000 people to cast their votes today to elect a member of parliament for Ablekuma North. This is a stronghold of the NPP. Should the NPP, Nane Kuya Osuefriye, not win this election, just in case she doesn't win, will you blame or will she blame the party machinery for not supporting her?
No, she wouldn't blame. I mean, I've already told you, the party has taken a principled stand. And principles do not destroy merely because of interest. It is in her interest and her right to contest the seat. That is fine. And I'm happy that the party did not take it away from her, because they were capable of taking it away from her. But if they have taken a principled stand that we are not going to validate this EC election, the Ghanaian democracy, protecting our democracy, is far more important than individual interests. And that is a principled stand. Something they lack.
Won't the party support help her secure the seat?
What do you mean by the party's...
party support.
Yeah, the party support could have helped her secure the seat. Yes. But as I've told you, they have taken a principled stand. Do you just...
supporting her.
Look, we have taken a principled stand. The party itself, as a body, will not validate this particular EC decision. Something I believe is clearly wrong.
Now, if you talk about the
principle is nobody should benefit from their own
Ishaq, I just want to find out, and I know Ghanaians want to find out. We are talking about the party. We keep mentioning the party. The leadership of the party, they are the ones that spoke about it. We've seen people who want to be flag bearers of the party. We've seen Dr. Mahmoud giving her support. We've seen Kennedy Japan giving her support. Dr. Brian Champon giving her support. And so if you take a critical look at it, it is not the entire party that is against the rerun. It is just a certain fraction, the leadership, where you have these persons who are hoping. Even Dr. Baumia currently, he's still the flag bearer, right?
Oh, no, he's no more the flag bearer.
Okay, but...
I wish he was the flag bearer now.
Is he the leader?
But technically...
Is he...
For your constitution, the leader.
I'm not really sure. That is actually an irrelevant question. But the point is that, as I said, if I were in that constituency, I'll be campaigning for her.
So but you still haven't answered the question.
Okay.
I just want to know.
Okay.
We have these people who are all rallying behind
her, yes.
People see these people as leaders in a way of the party.
They are leaders.
Good. Now, but you're rallying behind her.
Yeah.
Then we have a certain faction, the main leaders.
Yes.
That is the supposed party chairman,
yes.
the general secretary, the organizer, and all of that, saying that we as a party, we say we are not supporting.
Yes.
So now, again, we have these people supporting her.
Yeah.
And so who is the party and who is not the party?
The party, if you want to know, the headquarters is at Kukumlimli. The party has got executives. The executives have taken the party position. But as I said, it's an individual right she's exercising. The party has not excluded individuals from supporting her. If you want to support her, that is the right thing to do. But let it be known that MPP as a party will not validate these erroneous decisions. So there's no difference.
So who is the party and who is she? Who is
the party is a body corporate.
Who is Dr. Barumia? Who is Dr. Brian Champon? Yes, you want to comment?
If I may come in, to use his own words, this points to the hypocrisy within the NPP. And
it tells us we are a democratic party.
Well,
you can take a decision, but because democracy, that somebody is exercising her constitutional right, how can you take the party to
after the 2024 elections? Some of these gimmicks would not be part of the way you do your politics in this country. But it looks like, lessons have not been learned. You go out and issue a statement just to leave a window that when you lose, you can say that we did not participate. When and at the same time, your candidates and all your leading presidential hopefuls are giving massive support in terms of not just commentary, but financially to a candidate on the ground. Your entire party machinery is on the ground as we speak, trying to whip people to. So far, they have gotten 4 people to vote at the polling station. So, you see, when we said we had boycotted the IR...
So the 4 people voted is a party machinery.
Just 1 second. Just 1 second. You have managed, you've done well. You've gotten 4 people so far. You see, just when we said we are pulling out of the Iowa West Wagon elections, we pulled out as a party. We asked our agents, our candidates, and everybody to leave their constituency totally. You see, this is consistency. You have been consistently inconsistent with what you want to do with this rerun of an election. When, in actual fact, the main point is that the Electoral Commission says these 19, the polling station results that you brought, which we did not have, which was validated, which we said we wouldn't accept. The EC said that since those have been validated by their presiding officers, they would accept those against our decision that it came from the MPP, we won't take it. There are 19 polling station results. You see, this is the main issue here that has led to this. Their own presiding officer said, no, we cannot validate this. This is a diplomatic way of saying,
Anyway, we have some Zoomers joining us as well. Also, I don't know if we should take our first Zoomer right now. Fake Up, good morning.
Good morning, Rosalind.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Great, talk to us.
Okay, good morning to your panelists this morning. And then we are watching your coverage and then we are enjoying it. I just want to say that we hope that the rerun go on peacefully so that at the end of the day, we get a member of parliament to represent the people of Ablekuma North. But what is going on at Ablekuma North today, I don't see her selection because I see it as an injustice being meted out today. An innocent woman, Nana Ikuya-Free, in this case, for whatever crime he committed, for that singular decision that she has taken to represent her constituent and present herself to be represented in parliament to serve his constituent, her constituent rather. So I don't know what crime she has committed by doing that. But my hope and prayer is that this morning, whatever decision that will be taken by the constituents will go in her favor so that we validate that standing principle that Ghanaian always had that will always stand by the truth. If not, I don't see how this is going. because all structures put in place to protect her right and liberty has failed her. The Electoral Commission has failed her in the first place. The Election Security Task Forces has failed her by failing to provide security to protect the ballot and the pink sheet when it was time for coalition. So all this structure has failed her. So the only avenue left for her right now is the citizen within these constituencies, and the decision will be taken today to protect her right and reaffirm that stance that we always have as Ghanaians. So I think that will be done today. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Jacob, for joining us. Griffith, let me ask you this. Do you think the party leadership has lost control on its members?
Well, I don't think that the members and the member of, the candidate, whatever is happening within the constituency, is not in agreement with the leadership of the party. It's not a matter of there's disagreement. It's a matter of putting up a political gamesmanship.
so you see, it's a gimmick. You think
it's a gimmick? It is a gimmick.
Okay.
For them to issue, this is not the first time. In 1992, they issued the stolen.
So what's this gimmick for? What do they want to achieve?
Would you leave a window to say that, okay, we really didn't participate?
Just in case they should lose.
Exactly. So they have always, since the inception of the Fourth Republic, not the inception of the First Republic. You see, they have only changed names, but their character has been the same. So I think that, I don't think that to the people of Ghana, there seems to be a disagreement. But it's not the case. They may have even sat in their headquarters and decided that, the campaign, we will issue a statement and say that we are not, participating. So,
all right. All right, Nab, good morning.
I hope everything is fine from your end.
Everything is well by God's grace. Talk to us.
Yeah, we thank God. Last week you mafia me, but I'll go talk.
Last week, in fact, you were heated.
I guess if I'm in the studio, there's no way you tell me you off my mic.
You were very heated. We had to do it.
That's it. Let me first wish Engalin Obed Asamoah a happy birthday. She's a student at the University of Ghana. So Engalin Obed Asamoah, I wish you a happy birthday. May God bless and keep you safe. May God bless all that you're doing, so that at least future you become whoever God has made you to be. Let me go straight to the point. I'm totally in support of Madam Efriye's decision to contest the election, because this election is, of course, the party too said it is out of principle. But for me, I believe that it is something that she'll win, because it is our constituency, it is our stronghold, and the grounds are very fertile for her. So there would be no reason why. There would be no reason for her not to contest that election. And after all, it is the NDC that are saying that MPP are scared of election. That is why they do not want to contest. So we want to prove to the NDC that we are not afraid or we are not scared of the election. We are going to contest this election and win. However, since the party has already taken position that they want to, as it were, because of future occurrences, where future will make reference to the fact that if someone is losing an election, the person can cause mayhem, the person can disrupt the election process. And at the end of the day, there will be no repercussion. The only repercussion is that the party who won the election has to suffer for another, maybe another period of election, which at least the verdict, or in fact, if the NDC believe that they had won the election, why are they not producing the results that they had? Just like the 2020 election, where they took the matter to court. If you think that you have won an election, you went to a court without any one evidence that you have won the election, you didn't even produce any results. It's the same thing that they're doing now, but the EC wasn't smart enough to know the tactics or the antics of the NDC. So for us, we believe that this is an eye-opener. Next time when we are going to an election, we'll make sure that we mobilize our men. Now, as I speak to you, I'm very sure that our security men are on the grounds,
also working seriously, making sure that we are going to protect every single vote. And going forward, this is how it's going to be, because they have made it clear to us that this vigilantism that we passed, that act or that law didn't apply to them. So they were able to marshal their people. They are able to marshal their vigilantes to visit mayhem. We will also make sure that we also marshal our men, our security men on the ground, to make sure that they protect every single vote of the MPP. Thank you very much.
Wow, Nab. Well, all right, Nab. Thank you. I don't know.
Yes. Yes, I can see the NDC gentleman is struggling to understand the MPP position. You see, look at our motto, development and freedom. Why it simple means that despite we want to win political power to develop the good and the republic, we are not going to take individual liberties away. The individual freedom, the ability to be able to decide for yourself, the MPP as a party shouldn't take it away from you. But I can understand a member of a party that is coming from dictatorship, that was forced into democracy. The only reason why you people accepted democracy in 1992 was simple because the good people of Ghana have forced you into it. So still, you cannot appreciate why the party might take a principled position, but allow individuals the liberty to decide certain aspects for themselves. I can understand that. But please, you have to still accept, if you accept democracy, you still have to give liberty to your members.
Is the party not?
Why are people telling me that if it was an NDC, you will whip everybody in line? There is no choice.
Is the party not there for the interest of the people? And so if an individual says, I'm going to compete on the ticket of the party, shouldn't the party just resign its decision that we are not doing it, but rather rally behind it? Because it means everything for the party as it stands now to have a representation in Parliament.
No, but as I said, I'm not sure whether you understand what is a principal position. You are taking it to protect one particular interest, our democracy. That if you lose election, you have to wait for the next 4 years. We are not going to validate these particular decisions. We are doing it for prosperity. So it doesn't take away the individual freedom for the parties to say, we as a party, we don't want to be associated with it. But you as an individual, if you want, you can go ahead. And individual members can support you. But the party itself is not going to be part of it. So it is not, I'm not sure why the party want to hedge. As you, I don't know whether it was...
Griffith says this could be a gimmick.
No, it's not a gimmick.
It's not a gimmick?
No. Because
they just struggle to understand. If you should lose power, you will say that because the party did not put in their full support, hence we lost it.
No, if she wins in her individual capacity. And I think the party
she's not contesting as an independent candidate.
No.
So how does she win it as an individual?
No, she's not. You see, what you are failing to understand is that this is a hangover election. It is not a fresh one. The outstanding one is 19. And if she happens to win this particular election, of which I hope she will win, it is her individual effort and not the party. And the party can congratulate her. There's nothing wrong with it. But we are not, as a party, is not going to validate it. I don't see why we struggle to understand that when you have taken a principled position. So for me, there's nothing. There's no contradictions here. And it is, you said the MPP has to be consistently inconsistent? Was that the word that you have used? It's not inconsistency.
Have always been.
No, but I understand where you are coming from. You believe in dictatorship. So you don't believe giving individual people their freedom to do whatever they want to do. I can understand you. And I don't blame you at all.
All right.
Anyway, let me put it this way. This is MPP logic and analysis at play here. That's what they do best. I'd like to indicate that I still believe strongly that it defies common sense and logic that a political party presents a candidate for an election. That election is not over. And the political party says, we as a party, we have pulled out of that election. Yet the candidate says, I am still going ahead with the election on the ticket of the party that has pulled out of the election. I don't even think that our laws may even support that. That, But hey, it's a contest. I wish her well.
Why wouldn't the law support that?
I'm coming. Let me finish. I have a few things I want to touch on.
Let me take a zoom out and then I come back to you. Guy Soko, good morning. Hello?
Hello, yeah, good morning.
Good morning, how are you? Hello? All right, so Griffith, you want us to finalize your points?
Yes.
So we can go to Ishaq.
Let me state that.
No, but Ishaq is a lawyer, and Ishaq was trying to let us understand that there's no law that says that if the party says they are not contesting, the individual cannot.
Yes. Well, I was trying to pull that out. I pull out, find out whether there was any law that would do that. Yeah. But however, let me state that let's look at just common sense and logic. That candidates who go on the ticket of political parties, they are voted for because of the individual appeal and that of their political parties, right? And they represent, they run on the ticket of the party, and the symbol of that political party is also on the ballot box, not just a photo of the political party. But the political party says, on one hand, we have pulled out. But with another hand, we are allowing our candidate to go ahead. We are not going to stop there. Leading members of this political party say, we are giving you all the support that you need to go ahead. So who is the party? Who is the party here? Is the party actually those executives sitting at the headquarters who are making this decision that we are not going ahead with it? And then your candidate says, I'm going ahead. Your flag bearer, who until recently, I believe your constitution says your chairman is the leader of the party now.
Why are you so obsessed with what our constitution says about leadership?
Well, because you are an important participant in the democratic process in this country.
Oh, so we have only two party contesting as it stands now. That's the MPP and the NDC.
Yes, yeah. And then you sit here and say that we believe in you believe in freedom, and that's why we are allowing democracy. That's why we are allowing this thing to go on. We are from a dictatorship and that we were forced.
But it's fine.
Nobody forced President Rawlings. Nobody forced President Rawlings. If we talk about violence and dictatorship, it's more to the MPP's history. You go back to the First Republic, the United Party became PP, became PFP, and split. Third Republic, First Republic, there was United Party. Second Republic was Progress Party. Second Republic. Third Republic was PFP and UNC, and then now MPP. Even the name MPP was picked from the biggest participant of the UP in the First Republic, Northern People's Party. That's how they couched there. They chose the symbol elephant to represent them. So throughout that history, they have been noted to be the bombing of presidents and what have you has come from them. So don't say that. The fact that somebody came in because he was not happy with the way things were going and took over the reins of this country and actually had a decade-long progress of this country, that laid the foundation. And nobody forced the PNDC to go into an election. You see, the people endorsed the leadership of President Rawlings' 10 years of reign with another 2 terms.
All right, Griffith. Let me go. Let me go on
over 56%
and have a conversation with
victory,
Master Planner.
People of this country.
Good morning, Master Planner.
Good morning, Haja Rosalie.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Thank God. Please, can I talk to Mr. Griffiths?
Please go ahead and speak to him.
I want him to tell me from which documents is he speaking that MPP said they are not going to participate in the Ablekuma North rerun election? Has MPP officially written to him or the EC that they are not going to participate in the Ablekuma North rerun? Lawyer Justin Kodia from POM shared his opinion that MPP is not going to contest. That was not the decision of NEC or the National Council for MPP.
So who did he speak for? Wait, who did he speak for?
He spoke on his own capacity.
No, he didn't say. But he didn't say that. During the press conference, he said, as a party, we are not contesting. He didn't say as me, Justin Kodia, as a leadership, because I have seen the video, I have listened to him. It's different if he said, as Justin Kodia, in my mandate as the General Secretary, I am saying that we are not. But he didn't say, he said, we are not as a party contesting this seat.
That was not in the press conference. It was on a Kosi show with Obi that he said that. In the press conference, I have the press conference here.
Have you watched the video?
He did not say in the press conference that we are not contesting. He stated the issues that MPP has with what? The Electoral Commission. It was on Obi's show. A question said that Obi asked him, so are you contesting in the rerun? And he said no. So we are pleading. MPP, I have a document here. If you go to Ghana Web, 10 July, Richard Anyamba, Director for Communication for MPP, said MPP is taking part in what? Ablekuma North election.
Master Planner, please. So I'll let you speak, but I just want us to know that when he addressed the press, he did say categorically that the NPP is not contesting the election. And then they went to court, because the issue as of that time was still in court. Court overturned the injunction, and then Nana Ekwe came out to say that I am contesting on the ticket of the NPP. So the NPP is yet to come out to officially say that they are contesting or they are supporting Nanekria. So please, he did mention that the NPP is not contesting the election.
But the avoidance of doubt, maybe before you sign off, you can play that video or that portion where in the press conference he said we are not taking part.
That's fine.
And perhaps if he's taking that stance, maybe it's because of the injunction we place on what? The rerun of the election.
Right.
Because this is the first time I'm seeing the High Court squashing an injunction on election in this country. Anytime we place injunction on an election, it is usually granted. The same court said that the EC should go back and what? Collect the 3 polling stations. Why is it that the same court is saying that MPP is saying let's place injunction on it, and that court is throwing out that petition? So I don't even see why the Electoral Commission is also doing some like a Desica start. You know, the Electoral Commission, you told us that you don't have pin sheets. But so far as you are concerned, you have 3 polling stations outstanding. Later on, the same Electoral Commission is telling us that they've realized that 19 polling stations pin sheets were not verified. If you don't have pin sheets, how did you later realize that 19 polling stations were not verified? So the EC is even confused. You are afraid because Honorable Asidun Ketia said you are going. You are just taking a U-turn. You are pleading with the EC. The NDC is setting a precedent that if you go for election and you know that you are not winning, you can do certain things so that they will be rerun. We saw how school building was burned. We saw how what's the name, ballot paper were teared off in Ablekuma North. So we are pleading, going to Ablekuma North, this 19 polling station, MPP, we are also coming out in our numbers. As Malik Basintale said, if you do care, they will do care. If they do care, we will do care. So MPP members, let me before I sign on.
There won't be any care for anybody to do care. No, wait, Master Planner. There will not be any care to have keke. No. The police have assured us. The police has assured us that they are on ground, and of course they will make sure that peace will prevail. Yes. And so we will not use this medium to talk about somebody wanting to do care and do keke. There's not going to be any keke. We are preaching peace. We stand for peace Here on Prime Morning, we stand for peace, and so we advocate that everybody who goes there, when you vote, when you're done, go home. Collation will be done, and you get your results, and we'll know who will represent you in Parliament. Please and please again, there's not going to be any.
I retract that.
Thank you so much.
But before I go, let me tell Ablekuma North way. Mun sorry o. Mun tina na pia pia ebire you. Mun sorry mun dina mun pie na mun kwato abamano. Wada number 1 on the ballot paper. Yanku ponshire mun dina.
Thank you very much, Mr. Planner. Yes.
Before I told you that I was trying to pull out if there are any laws that I think to support what my colleague said. It says that I have a robot that I use for the laws of Ghana. It says no laws grant a political party powers to unilaterally prevent a candidate from contesting, even if the party withdraws its backing. The Electoral Commission rules specifies that. It says only the candidate, him or herself, can withdraw.
Okay.
Withdrawal must be in writing, blah, blah, blah. If the individual withdraws too late, the name will remain on the ballot. And says, goes ahead and says that if a party withdraws the candidate, but the candidate does not personally submit a withdrawal, their name remain on the ballot and they.
Fantastic. So the candidate has said that
there is no law.
There's no law like that. Thank you very much. Let me take my final Zuma and then I can let you speak, okay?
Okay.
Boache, good morning. Good morning, Boache. Please unmute yourself. Hello, Boache. Okay, so we'll try and get to Boache. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, Ishaq, you wanted to...
Yes, is it master planner? In fact, I quite enjoy...
I want to ask you,
Yes.
see, this is where the issue is.
Yes.
So master planner says he has a statement that the party never said they are not going for the
Yes, I said I enjoy his submission, but I do disagree with him. At least I've heard the General Secretary and the Deputy General Secretary, Haruna, have also spoken on it, that the party is not going to validate.
Yes.
Which I agree with them. I want to say something about what...
Why do you agree, though?
Sorry?
Why do you agree with that?
I say it's a principle position.
principle.
They don't want to validate what is wrong.
Okay.
Especially the main principle that nobody should benefit from their own wrong.
Right.
It is the NDC that is causing this current problem. And to validate it, that is why I'm ashamed that the court had made that decision by not putting an injunction in place.
Okay.
Because if the substantive case later heard that the Electoral Commission is wrong, how do you then correct it when a fresh election has taken place? And as I said, the test for granting injunction is very easy. The American Sinamai test, where that balance of convenience lies, and it lies on the fact that the election shouldn't take place. Because if a fresh election takes place and the substantive case is heard, and if the substantive case contradicts the result, especially if somebody else has won, I mean, what have you done? So it was just stupid, but we accept the court decision.
Your words, though.
Your
words you used. You just used a certain word on TV.
Oh.
Please retract it.
Okay, I withdraw. I don't remember those words exactly. Right. But is it the word stupid?
Yes.
Oh, but stupid is...
No, it's
okay, I withdraw the word
stupid. Thank you very much.
What better word can I replace it with when a decision just defies common sense?
So you can use that word. You just...
It defies common sense.
It's fine.
And that is even worse than stupid.
No, it's not.
Okay. Then I withdraw. It defies common sense.
Just like your decision.
But having said that...
Defies common sense.
I also want to emphasize what he said. Malik Basantele said there is keke. They have already done a lot of keke by burning down by burning down the facility that was containing the box.
But we still don't know who burnt it down, though. Do you know?
Of course, the NDC. I mean,
where's your proof?
They did it. They have interest in burning down the place.
But you don't have proof.
Why haven't they should arrest the guy? They will know the proof.
Who's the guy?
You know the guy.
Look, the president... Bossman just said there is a video of him. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Have you seen the video?
I haven't seen the video. Okay. But if indeed it is there, perhaps now that he has said it, the police should take action. So if the president is a commander-in-chief, he's not acting. And if electoral commissioner know that there is a video circulation, the police are not aware, and the same police is issuing a statement, can we believe such a statement?
Is it not interesting that EC will have a video of that sort?
Yes.
A criminal video as such?
Yes.
And hold on to it and not present it to police for...
Who said they haven't presented it to police? He didn't say that.
Okay.
He didn't say that. I mean,
he didn't say...
You are imputing facts.
No,
he didn't say that.
I'm not imputing. I'm just saying that he didn't also say that it's been handed over to police. He said there's a video.
He said the police are aware. He said the police are aware.
Okay. They've seen the video?
Well, if they are aware, perhaps they have seen the video.
All right.
If they are aware, I mean, it tells me that they have seen it. Yes, he said it. He said the police are aware. And no arrest.
He said even though there's a video.
He said even though there's a video.
So our police, I don't want to use the word stupid again. Our police system, they are there and such evidence is there, they are not aware, then we are in trouble in the Republic. If this video is actually in circulation and we have a police service in Ghana and they are not aware such a video is there, then we have a problem.
Okay.
Because if you give me the opportunity to investigate and the video is out there, I'm capable of retrieving it in less than 10 minutes. So are you saying the police will not be aware of it? So for me, the MPP have taken a principled stand. But this election is not going to give us a good precedence because it will tell candidates that whenever you are losing the election, find a way to bend down the papers and you get another opportunity. This is the main problem I have in continuing with this election. But the people of Ablekuma, for me, my main reason of supporting this candidate, even though MPP is not in it, we don't want them to have this supermajority. With this ridiculous statement, they are stating that once they get it, they would have had the power to capable of changing a man to a woman or whatever ridiculous statements they are making. Please, please give us the opportunity to stop them from attaining such supermajority. Diplomacy and then interactions and reaching compromise should always be the better way in a democracy. Not one person to hold the presidency and then parliament, then hijack the whole judiciary because as we talk today, I'm not sure whether you can really call Ghana a democracy. Now parliament...
Why can't you speak
well, look at what they are doing to our judiciary. It's like one-man show now. Even the Chief Justice is being thrown out by them. They manufacture evidence to throw the poor lady out. So, as Montesquieu said, power should not concentrate in one hand. There has to be separation of powers. See what they are doing. So...
Wasn't it from a petition from Ghana?
Oh, what petition? Do you really believe in that petition? Look at the frivolous reason they gave. Look at the frivolous reason they gave. The Constitution is very clear. If a judge sits on a case, she has complete immunity. What happened to that immunity? They said we should point to laws. A decision that she has made in a case that the Constitution granted immunity, that it should not be questioned anywhere, and there's a petition for that. I mean, at the prima facie case, why couldn't somebody say, but she enjoy immunity here, and throw that aspect out? A traveling expenses they are accusing her of. When the whole the Auditor General have had the opportunity to look at that particular expenditure, they are telling her that they expected her to go on holiday with a policeman or a policewoman for that matter.
Isn't that
instead
why
of going
a
with
committee
a
has
member?
been set so the committee will make a decision?
Oh yes, the same committee that have taken the case to Edu Lodge when she has complained that it brings her childhood trauma. Why have they chosen that place? Is this a committee, really independent committee?
All right.
Or is just
okay. All right. So let me. Okay. Yes.
A few things to comment. Let me first of all correct my brother who said that President Mahama is the commander-in-chief of the,
It's supposed to be the vice president. The
commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Is it armed forces or police? Which one do you say? Is it the police or?
I said the point I wanted to make is that the ultimate power with the police and the soldiers, the military, lies with the president. The president can direct them.
Thank you.
To do what is right.
The only problem is that these activities, when they took place, President Akufo-Addo was holding that position. All these videos that, if they actually exist, I haven't seen it.
I'm expecting that, just like I also was working videos came and everybody saw it, this would have been out there, but I haven't seen it. So therefore, these events, the dates that were given in the EC's own press conference had taken place before January 7th. I want to remind him that President Mahama assumed that role on the 7th of January this year, not in December, because the activities took place in December. And during such periods, when there were some unfortunate incidents of NDC people trying to demand that certain MP people leave office and what have you, the president reminded President Akufo-Addo that he is in charge of the security forces in this country and should exercise that power that he has to stop what was going on. He said also that this is setting a precedent. I want to remind him that I can give him countless examples. I'm not saying this is right, if it is actually what he thinks it is, but the point still remains that even within their primaries, lights have gone off. Macho men have carried ballot boxes away. During general elections, there are countless incidents where macho men picked 2008 elections, for example. They were running with motorbikes. So that is what initiated even the ban of motorbikes within a certain perimeter. It was because during that time, their hooligans were picking up motorbikes, ballot boxes with motorbikes. So let's not pretend that all of us. So when he was talking, I was beginning to wonder whether he was probably outside the jurisdiction and has just come in. Because most of the commentary is like, he's very surprised at certain things that have happened. But I'm not saying that when things go wrong, because it has gone wrong in the past is right. But the point is that a lot of these things have already been happening in this country. And that does not tell us our democracy is as bad as it thinks it is. No, it's not. There's no perfect democracy. And I believe that saying that people should go and rerun an election, not imposing a candidate on them, that perhaps you are insinuating they didn't choose. But they should just go and rerun an election. It's in itself, how democracy should be all about.
All right.
So I think that we should be guided by that.
Okay, so today, by the close of the day, we'll get to know who will be representing the people of Ablekuma North in Parliament. Only Binane Uswefrie, who is contesting on the ticket of the NPP, even though the leadership of the NPP is not contesting this race. That's what they say, that the NPP is not part of this race. And so she's going, but she's still going on the ticket of the NPP. Or it will be Irabana Albing who is contesting on the ticket of the NDC. Let's not forget that this is the stronghold of the NPP. Will they retain their title, or the NDC will be able to snatch it from them?